look at that shine. Claude have mercy. Good morning, everyone. I hope you all are doing well. It is Friday. It's the long weekend to the weekend, but we are here. So today, this episode is dedicated to Ahmaud Aubery. If you don't know who that is, please look up that name, Ahmaud Aubery. Is a young black man that was murdered down in Georgia by two white men while he was jogging. And just like Trayvon Martin, these men wanted to take the law into their own hands, thinking that he was someone that was robbing houses. So they profiled him, followed him, chased him down, blocked him off, murdered him. Something in our country that we can't stand for. And I know I am broadcasting on my Boys and Girls Club Family Center page and also on my own personal page. But it is important that our young black men and women and our minority children understand that these things do happen and they are exposed to it. Even at a young age, our kids are exposed to it. My daughter is exposed to it. She's 15. My kids at the Boys and Girls Club are exposed to it every single day, from the news to in their community. And this is something that we can't stand for. So I'm going to take a moment to just talk about this because it's been weighing heavily on my heart. This is happening way too often in our country. And it's been a blind eye turned to it so many times that it's sickening. Many of our elected officials in Washington, D.C. do not even raise an eyebrow or bat an eye to when a black man gets murdered. But everyone wants to raise an eye and cry foul when a Colin Kaepernick takes a knee during a football game to protest police brutality and the murdering of minority men and women. But at the same time now, during coronavirus, we have people at Capitol houses protesting with armed guns and no violence. And at the same time in New York City, you have people in different parks lying around with police officers with masks giving them water bottles. While in the minority communities, police officers are beating down black people for not social distancing. This is something that we cannot stand for. The racial bias in this country is disgusting and cannot continue. I honestly am pissed off and disgusted by the treatment of our black men and women, our minority men and women throughout this country. And it gets even worse when the officers destroy the name of good officers that are out there doing the right thing, because it overshadows everything that we stand for in this country. To be peaceful, loving, and having a pursuit of happiness and honor to succeed in life. But to see this young man in this video floating around on the internet since February, this happened, and nothing happened until yesterday when these men got arrested. To see that video floating around of that man walking and jogging down the street and to be cornered off and what we say lynched in broad daylight, and nothing happens to the people that did it. It's purely disgusting. As the executive director at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center, we always care for our kids, and we do not hide the fact that they have to stand up and fight for their own freedom and rights and justices at a young age. Because a lot of our kids have a lot stacked up against them already. A lot of them come from low-income housing. A lot of them have single parents. Some are raised by foster parents or their grandparents. And we cannot allow them to be subjected to brutality and violence that they think should be normal in their lives when it's not. We cannot allow our children to think that they are lesser than. That is why me and my staff at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center fight hard to educate our kids about being safe, being proactive, and knowing their rights, even at the age of 5. Because we don't want our kids to walk out into the community and be afraid. Afraid of their neighbors or people that come into their community, afraid of the law, and afraid of just being black. We can't allow our kids to have fear and not be allowed the right to grow up and be successful in what they want to be in life. As I graduated college in 2001, I became a teacher. I worked at Central High School, then at Homer Street Elementary School, and also Washington Elementary School. Then I had the opportunity to work in the mayor's office under Charlie Ryan, the past mayor. Then I was afforded the opportunity to work at my college, American International College, in several areas, and ended my career there and as a director of diversity and community engagement. Over these years, I've worked with so many youth. I've done so many things in this community to help see my children grow and be better than me. The unfortunate thing is I have buried many of these kids as well. I've seen a lot of them go to jail. I've seen a lot of them take wrong turns. And I blame myself for many years for that because I thought I could do more. But I've also seen a lot of my kids grow up to be successful, own businesses, become lawyers, doctors, teachers, coaches, politicians. I've seen both sides of it. But I've also seen what our skin color does. It scares people. And that is one of the things that really pisses me off. Because of the color of your skin, the deck is stacked up against you. So I try to teach my kids to have self-love, not self-hate. Love for their community, love for their people, and love for everyone. And most importantly, respect. Because if you give respect, you get respect. And it is most important that we teach our kids how to understand the law and what is right in front of them. So at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center, we don't just teach education, we teach life skills and hard lessons. And we communicate with our parents to let them know that we're doing this because we want our kids to be safe. We have made a pact at the Boys and Girls Club Family Center with also the YMCA of Greater Springfield, the South End Community Center, the Martin Luther King Family Services, the Carew Street Boys and Girls Club, and every community center around here that we will not be happy until there are no murders of our children in our city. We will work tirelessly to keep our doors open, to make sure that we service the kids the right way, to bring them the right justice in life. We support everything that our kids do through education, through athletics, through academics, because we know that our kids have the brightest future if they have the opportunity. So once again, we have to stick together. We have to make sure that our kids are safe. We have to make sure that we educate them on things that happen like this. When Mr. Aubery got murdered, and to see that video, it destroyed me. Because I could see myself running down the street, just trying to exercise, to be healthy, doing something that I love to do, and to be interrupted because somebody thinks that I fit a profile. That should never happen in this country, but it constantly does. I guarantee that the majority of my minority friends have been pulled over by the police and harassed, and have been scared for their lives, and did not know what to do at the time. Some of you might have known what to do because it might have happened to you at an older age. And I'm telling you I can relate because it happened to me when I was a teenager, just a week and a half after I got my license. The good thing is that I have a stepfather that is a police officer that tried to help me understand how to do these things. When I get into a car, and if I happen to get pulled over, what should I do? If you are afraid, do not be afraid to call 911 on the police. If you are afraid, do not be afraid to get the badge number. Put your cell phone on to record. Because this goes to my teenagers and my young 20-year-old men and women out there to be careful. And don't think that this won't happen to you because you live in a nice area. Because if you are a minority, more than likely it will happen to you. It doesn't matter if you wear a suit or not. There are just some police officers here that are afraid and take that badge as courage, as a badge of courage to do things that they shouldn't. And it ruins the names for the good police officers that are out there. I have a lot of friends that are officers that I work with, that I communicate with every day. And one thing I tell them is, please be safe out there and get home to your family. Because I know they're out there doing the right thing, serving the community and doing the good things, but also protecting people. But when you have that impacted with racial tension and people that can carry guns and take a life and not get charged with it, it makes it even worse. Because now the deck is stacked up against you even more. So Mr. Aubery should not have lied dead in that street in Georgia. It shouldn't have had to sit there with his parents and his family wondering what's going to happen to these men and women, these men that did this since February. So it really bothered me. And I really wanted to get to reading today, but I'm going to have to put that aside because this really, really bothered me. And I know that it bothers a lot of people. And I've had a lot of my family and friends and some of their kids asking, what do we do when we see something like this? Because it's all over the news. Our kids are exposed to it. It's something that's very, very painful for us to see. And our kids have uses of phones, and they can go to YouTube and they can click on Instagram and everything else and Snapchat, and these videos pop up of them seeing someone that looks like them get taken out. And that's not good. So I was going to read today, but I want to take a moment just to talk because I can't do it. Because I know we have some things that we have to do. And that is to educate our young men and women on what to do in this country and how to be safe. The one thing I do want to know is if you guys do have Instagram or Twitter, please follow Sean King and get the updates on what is happening with Mr. Aubery and these men that have taken his life. You get quick updates on what's happening down in Georgia. There's a rally right now. And I know today and tomorrow there's a walk or a jog or a run for Aubery. So please do something that can support this. Because today is his birthday. And it should have been celebrated. But it's the first time that his mother will not be celebrating Mother's Day with her son. So I just need everyone to take a time to pray, to heal, but also to mourn, because we lost another one. We lost a young brother. You might not have known him, but if you feel that pain of seeing that video, we lost another one. And just because we saw the video, they have been arrested. But no one wants to touch that case. So we have to make noise. And I do apologize that today was supposed to be a nice going into the weekend to read. But when God speaks to you, you have to say something. And as an executive director that oversees many children in this community, you have to speak up, because I don't want to see my kids go through this. I don't want to see the fear in their eyes because they cannot be who they want to be. So I'm just hoping that you all can stay with me and do what we're supposed to do, is to learn and educate our young, learn our rules and regulations and our laws, and educate our young brothers and sisters to be better in understanding these laws. We should not be afraid to go anywhere in this country, any neighborhood, to live anywhere, to drive anywhere, to run anywhere with the threat of being murdered. That should never be the case. I really, really hope that this never happens again. But unfortunately, I know it will. And I pray to God that it is not one of your loved ones or mine. Something like that cannot happen, and you cannot recover from properly. Because I don't know what I would do if that was one of my loved ones or my daughter who was just walking to the court or going to exercise, and it'd be profiled and it'd be taken away from me. I don't know what that would feel like. I don't want to know what that feels like. And to see the men that did this free to do whatever they want for months, I don't know where my mindset would be. I don't think I would be capable of thinking properly. So I want to make sure that people understand that, yes, these things are happening in our country. Our Boys and Girls Club Family Center and all the clubs and community centers are inundated with stories like this, with kids that have issues, that have no home, or use this place as their second home, and it's cut off because of this coronavirus. And it bothers me because I cannot talk to my kids. I can't teach my kids face to face. I can't feel what they feel. I can't guide them. We're trying to do all we can to communicate with them virtually, but it is hard because I do not know where they at or what they're doing. That goes to my preschool all the way up to my teenagers. And all the kids that go to all the community centers, I know the other executive directors are feeling the same thing, because we need to make sure that our community is safe. I constantly talk to the coaches and my friends, Michael Anderson and James G., about the kids at Central High School, the ones that they work closely with, the ones that need to be in school or that need to have activities. What are they doing now? Are they safe? Do they have enough food? Are they protected? There's a lot more that we do with our youth than people will ever know. And we don't brag about it because it's a part of our lives. A lot of the men and women that I work with care for, support, provide for so many kids without a blink of an eye. We do it because we love our community and we love our kids and we want them to succeed. There is nothing that I won't do to protect a young one, to make them better than me, because I know it happened for me while I grew up in the Boys and Girls Club Family Center. And why I'm sitting here today is because of the people that did what they did for me. A Tom Brennan, a Tony Malone, a Mr. Dawson, a Milton Berry. We have so many people that did things for us. Adora Robinson from MLK looked out for me. I don't know why they did it, but they did it. And I can't thank them more now than ever because it means a lot. So my job is to make sure that I give back. I work closely with my brother LeVar Click and Chase Swan and Wes Jackson. We work closely together to make sure that we do the right things in this community. We don't do it for any credit. We'd rather stay behind the scenes and do everything for the kids and have them have all the fun. I communicate weekly with Ron Johnson and Vinny Barello over at Carew Street because we want to make sure that when we open our doors, we do it the right way. We share best practices. We want to make sure that the community is better off than what it was before this coronavirus hit. I communicate with the police department to see what they need, because things happen in this community and they are quick to call me if they need my help. That's the level of respect we should have with our officers. I communicate with my community constantly, because I want to make sure that everyone is safe and no one is scared. So if you're hearing this message, please understand that I'm sorry that I'm not reading today, but today is a hard day because I'm fed up. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm sick and tired of seeing our people be taken away from us at a young age for no apparent reason. I'm sick and tired that people have videos and is, oh, that video wasn't clear enough. It didn't tell the whole story. It says enough. Only people that want to create a different narrative will say it didn't say enough. All that I know is there's a young man that's gone now. Another one. And the outrage is real. So I really do hope that you guys do me a favor and pray. Take a walk or a jog today or tomorrow for Aubery in his name, because that's what he loved to do. Just like everyone put their hoodies on and grabbed a bag of Skittles when Trayvon Martin got murdered, we need to do this as well. There is a petition on runforaubery.com, and you can sign that, and you can also sign up to run to log your miles. So please, please support this cause, because I will. And I hope that you guys are all safe. I say it every day before I log off, that I pray for you guys. I love you, and I hope that you're safe. I mean that. I mean it because that's how I was raised. To say I love you and God bless. My mother, Elizabeth Dawes, did that for me. My brothers, Kevin, Keith, and Craig, did that for me. They made sure that I had a strong foundation. And I hope that they are proud of me. So everyone, please do me a favor. If you can, reach out to the young ones, communicate with them, discuss what is going on in this country. There is a lot of outrage. There's a lot of confusion. Do your research and make things clear. Continue to educate and understand what is happening in this country. And let's get rid of these cultural biases and this racism and make our country the way it's supposed to be. A melting pot of success. Not an environment of hate. And I'm telling you, it starts from the top. And it trickles down. And because there is no care and self-love at the top, men are allowed to kill a black man in broad daylight without consequence until now. This cannot happen any further. So I'm going to log off right now, and I apologize that today was supposed to be my reading, but I just couldn't do it because I've been losing sleep over this ever since it popped up. The outrage is real. So please do me a favor, just do a prayer, hug your loved ones, pray with your family and friends, educate these young men and women, and make sure that we have successful lives moving forward. I love you all. Stay safe and God bless.